Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. What a monstrous game that was. The Los Angeles Lakers take a 3-0 lead in Houston, 112-108 in overtime. So many wonderful things took place tonight, man, but so many things that were really nerve-wracking as well. And I feel like I'm pretty exhausted. I think our team is very exhausted. And the fact that we were able to climb out of here with a win, a lot of things had to fall in our favor that didn't. If I'm the Houston Rockets, I have some frustrations with the officiating. But as a Los Angeles Laker, I couldn't be more happy with our fight, with our overall just relentlessness, led by Marcus Smart, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura. I mean, we had so many guys contribute to what just took place right now, and it looked like we were going to lose a couple times. We were down by as much as 6 points with like 30 seconds to go, something like that. It was really ridiculous, and Ime Udoka made a decision near the end of regulation to put Jae'Sean Tate in the basketball game instead of Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard had hit a big three for them. It was a big part of why things were going right. But he decided to go with the bigger body defensive player, Jae'Sean Tate, on a defensive play down the stretch of the game with six. I think he was up by 6 at the time with like 30-something seconds to go. And Jae'Sean Tate fouled Marcus Smart on a 3-point play on that decision. As soon as he put him in the game, he fouls Marcus Smart shooting a 3. Marcus hit all 3 of the free throws. We got close with that. It made it a one-possession game. Whatever they did on the other end didn't work, and LeBron James hit a big 3 with very little time left to tie the game up and give us an overtime opportunity. That decision is a decision that, when you look back on it, basically put us in a position to be up 3-0. There was a lot of things that came together, but his defensive substitution of Jae'Sean Tate for Reed Sheppard ultimately made it possible for the Lakers to win. I don't think there was any other way we were going to win that game unless somebody did something absolutely stupid. And Jae'Sean Tate pulled it off. He pulled it off. And give credit to Marcus Smart for hitting 3 free throws, and then from there, everything that transpired after that was only possible because Jae'Sean Tate fouled Marcus Smart on a 3-point attempt. One of the worst fouls I've ever seen in my life. So let's get into the stats. That's where I want to start this video, man. I really think it was a lot of different things that had to work in our favor. Some jump ball circumstances that I, as a Laker fan, am pleased with. But if I were a Rocket fan, I would have a problem with where we were kind of pushing players' hands out of the way so that they couldn't get the tip. I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm on the side of the team that did it, but I saw it. It was what it was. I'm very happy that all 3 of those were not called, and I know there's going to be some unhappy people about that. I thought we ran out of gas at the end of regulation. That's one of the reasons why we were able to go down by 6, is because on the last couple of plays in regulation, we just ran out of gas. We were so tired that our pace had slowed down to a snail's pace. And the Rockets did something stupid, or a couple things stupid, that gave us new life, that stopped the clock long enough for us to catch our breath. And we were able to finish it out that way as well. I thought we were dead in the water with this game. In fact, I thought we were conceding our loss at that point. We were down by 6. We knew we were done. And Marcus Smart, like I said many times throughout the course of the season, he don't work like that. That's not how he operates. He don't care what the score is. He's going to make a play. He don't care if the overall team sentiment is that we've lost. He don't vibe with no team sentiment. He's his own sentiment. And we won because of it. I think that really is what it came down to. And we've needed a player like this on the Lakers every year. We always need a player like this on our team. Somebody who's going to buck the system as it pertains to whatever the feeling, the overall natural vibe should be. We've lost. Time to concede. It's over. Nah, I ain't thinking like that. I'm I'm not doing that. You get on my back, we're going. Kobe was like that. Marcus Smart is like that. And this is also why we won Game 3. I don't think many Laker teams that I've watched in my life would have won this basketball game. Not too many. This game was over. But the other team did enough stupid stuff to play right into our hands, and we did enough of the things around the margins that we needed to do to ultimately capture this victory. The little things, the effort things. This was a very physical game. Took a lot of punishment. Hit free throws. Bust through the momentum shift at times where it was needed for us to do so. Meaning that it seemed like things were going wrong, as I've already described. We did that a couple times. I think of a lob that we had to LeBron James when I thought everybody was kind of like just slowing down. All of a sudden, we get the lob off, and we were able to cut it to 4 or somewhere, cut it to 2 or something at that moment. It's just little things like that that we did better than the Rockets. They turned the ball over inexplicably. You know, their lack of having a point guard out there really hurt them. It was just so many things that really came together to make this what it was. A 112-108 victory for the Los Angeles Lakers in overtime. Let's get into the game cast. We'll see what's going on with these stats. First quarter, Lakers 39, Rockets 32. Second quarter, Lakers 24, Rockets 20. Third quarter, Lakers 17, Rockets 23. Fourth quarter, Lakers 21, Rockets 26. Overtime, Lakers 11, Rockets 7. This was tough. This was a very difficult game for us and them, and we were able to win it. It feels so much better to be on this side. Lost a lot of games like this, heartbreakers. All right, 48% from the field for the Lakers, 38-79. 41% for the Rockets, 40 of 98. From the three-point line, the Rockets 11-39 for 28%. Another one under 30%. They're shooting poorly. Lakers 41% from the three, 12 of 29. From the free throw line, Lakers 24 of 32 for 75%. Rockets 17 of 23 for 74%. Lakers 45 boards, the Rockets 49. Lakers 9 offensive boards, Rockets 18. 28 assists for the Lakers, 21 for the Rockets. 12 steals for the Lakers, 15 for the Rockets. 6 blocks for both teams. 21 turnovers for the Lakers. That's another thing. 17 points conceded off of those. 17 turnovers for the Rockets. 22 points conceded off of those. 15 fast break points for the Rockets. 9 for LA. 54 points in the paint for the Rockets. 50 for LA. 6 was the largest lead of the game for the Rockets. They led 11% of the time. And the Lakers had a 15-point lead and led 82% of the time. Man, I can't. It's one of those things where it's like, man, I'm still in shock that we actually were able to pull this off. It felt like we were dead in the water more than once. It felt like we were dead in the water. It felt like we were giving this game up slowly but surely throughout the third quarter. We just couldn't get our scoring together, and Alpi Sengun got hot. It just felt like we were losing, man. We went down by 6. I'm like, this is a 2-1 game series. We gotta try to keep them from tying up the series. I was pretty certain we were done, but Marcus Smart, man. Marcus Smart. Jabari Smith Jr., 44 minutes, 24 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, plus 4. He was really good, man. 6 of 10 from the 3. I mean, Jabari, I kind of mentioned earlier in the pregame video that I thought Jabari may, play better at home. I think I mentioned that about most of those guys, but he had been showing me signs of playing well. I thought he played a really good defensive game in the first game, even though he didn't shoot very well. So he's kind of been playing kind of away from what the Rockets have been doing. It's been Jabari playing well, and then the Rockets kind of struggling around him to a degree, and they hadn't really featured him enough to really make that kind of come alive, so that he could carry them a bit more. I thought tonight with him shooting well, maybe they would feature him even more than they did in the offense, and it just did not manifest. But this was a really good shooting night for a young player that I really like, man. I like Jabari. Tari Eason, 46 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 4 steals, 2 offensive boards, plus 6. Tari played a physical game, man. He was doing banshee stuff, but the bad shooting, only 5 points in 46 minutes, that's a bit much. Definitely, you would expect more scoring from him. That's why I said I was so happy that we won the game where he hit all his shots. because I felt like most of the time he wouldn't have that time of night. And so this kind of seconds that thought once again, because he's really shot poorly in this series except for that one game where he did not miss. Alpi Sengun, 47 minutes, 33 points, 15 of 27 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, 3 steals, 1 block, 5 offensive rebounds plus 10. This is the Alpi Sengun that I knew he could be. This is who I know he is. He'd been struggling a lot with his chippy. He struggled a lot with his chippies in this one, but in the fourth quarter he got it together and just was devastating. He was hitting all types of shots, and all the shots that had been missing all season, all series long, just all fell at once in the fourth quarter, and we just had no answer for him. I really thought he was going to carry his team to victory, and it just did not transpire for him. I thought the three-point shot that he took down the stretch of the overtime was awful. To be completely honest with you, I thought that his team could have worked around a better shot, and he just settled for something. The announcer said they thought it was fatigue, maybe so, but it was a horrible shot. He should have never attempted that. He was 0 of 4 or 1 of 4 from behind the arc at the time. You have to work the ball around, man. With 9 seconds to go, down by maybe 2 or something like that, or down by 3, you need somebody else to do that. And so I thought that was an awful shot. But aside from that, he played a really, really good game, and I was really frustrated with how much he was flopping out there as well. As an opponent, he was extremely frustrating. At one point, I was calling the Rockets the Floppits, because they were flopping all over the place, and the referees were definitely rewarding them for that. Very frustrating stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard to watch. But overall, he was a worthy opponent out there. He definitely bounced back strong, and I knew he was better than what people were saying he was. I'm certain of that. So this is good for him. Amen Thompson, 48 minutes, 26 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3. 10 of 13 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, 5 offensive boards plus 6. Awesome basketball player, Amen Thompson. Phenomenal performance outside of the one missed three-point shot. He really does need to work the 3 into his game. If he did, he would be utterly unstoppable. 6 stocks, 5 offensive boards, only 1 turnover, 11 rebounds, 26 points on better than 50% shooting from the field and free throw line. Just an awesome performance from a really good young player. He was difficult to deal with, man. His defense was awesome. The blocks that he had were people trying him when they shouldn't have been, trying to lay the ball up over him. No, he's going to always block those shots, man. I'm just a huge fan of what he does, and it's very difficult going up against him. I'm glad we're winning. You know what I mean? I said earlier in the season that any team that has a Thompson twin on is going to give us hell. So luckily he's on a broken team, and it ain't really able to show like I think it would under normal circumstances. But this is going to be a devastating basketball player for a long time. And if the Rockets decide that because of what they're going through, they're going to move on from him, I think the Lakers should definitely try to make him a Laker. If at all possible, someday down the road, he should definitely be a part of this team. But for now, he's an op, and he gave us hell tonight. He gave us absolute hell. Reed Sheppard, 46 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 21 from the field, 4 of 13 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 turnovers, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 1 offensive board minus 2. A mixed bag there for Reed, to say the least. Terrible shooting. He's been shooting threes at a massive volume. He's only been able to hit 4 of them in both of these instances where he shot that much. 5 stocks is awesome. 5 turnovers is terrible. 7 assists is good, especially given the fact that he hasn't really been a point guard for them. But he's trying to turn into one to the best of his ability. That's just not his game. I know what he can do on the defensive end, so I'm not overly surprised to see him get that many stocks. It would really be beneficial to him if he had somebody that actually played the point guard position. That's what I will say to the Rockets organization. It would be great if you make it so that kid doesn't look like he's no good because he can't do something that he shouldn't be asked to do. So I know Reed Sheppard has a bright future, but this role sucks for him. It just sucks. Green, 8 minutes, missed both his field goals, 0-1 from 3, 1 turnover, minus 4. Dodo, 11 minutes, missed all 5 of his field goals, missed all 4 of his threes, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 offensive board, minus 6. Deshaun Tate, 3 minutes, 1 point, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, and 1 game-saving foul for the Lakers. Thanks, Shante. Clint Capella, 4 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 offensive boards, -11. Aaron Holiday, 6 minutes, missed his 3-point shot, 1 turnover, -1. Josh Okogie, 4 minutes, missed a field goal, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, -13. That bench is just... They need to fire the GM, dog. That's all. That's just all I have to say about that. They need to fire the GM manager. All right, so for the winning Los Angeles Lakers, and boy, do I have a lot to say about us in a positive light. I'm exhausted because they worked so hard. That's the truth. They fought so hard that I'm tired. LeBron James, 45 minutes, 29 points, 10 of 22 from the field, 4 of 9 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 turnovers, 3 steals, 1 block, 0 in the plus-minus. The stats aren't telling the story there. He was awesome. The 8 turnovers, I'm not even really mad about the 8 turnovers tonight because that's how awesome he was in other areas. He made the 3-point shot from the corner that ultimately sent this thing into overtime and saved our backside. If he didn't hit that shot, this is a 2-1 series. He played hard all game long, diving on the floor, taking punishment, rolling around on the ground with 20-year-olds trying to get loose balls, beating people to tips, dunking, lobbing the ball to his son, hitting threes, rebounding with the most ferocious of energy and effort. Some of the best effort I've ever seen LeBron James give us on the boards has been done in this series, man. We've been watching him for 8 years. He is fighting hard as hell in the areas where he normally conserves energy because we need him to. He's doing everything we need him to do. I think it's starting to become clear who the greatest player of all time is, and his name is LeBron James. And him continuing to do this series is helping define that reality for a lot of people who are on the fence, man. I'm just being honest, and I'm one of them. You can't tell me that we are down Luka and Austin going into a series against the Rockets and we are up 3-0, up with an opportunity to sweep the Rockets, with him leading the way at 41 years of age. This is a notch under his belt that is extremely important. When you talk about where the greatest player of all time thing ranks, longevity and excellence in age is a serious slider in this conversation for me. And I said it earlier in the season, but I'm watching him do something right now that's literally making me say, okay, this is getting to be a situation where I can't legitimately say Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all time anymore. This series may be defining it for me, if I'm being honest with you. Because no Luka, no Austin, 41 years of age. And he's hitting game-tying shots on the road, trying to close out a desperate basketball team full of young players, dude. It's just not something that could have been done by anybody else. Not just Michael Jordan. None of these individuals who've ever played this game were even in a position to be around at 41. On top of the fact that he's played more basketball than anyone else, scored more points than anyone else, won more games than anyone else, dominated the Eastern Conference and went to the finals every year for almost 8 straight years. I mean, it's getting to a point where it's like, all right, dog. Michael's 6-0 in the finals, unblemished finals record is amazing. But we're talking about a guy who's still playing at a Hall of Fame level under adverse circumstances, winning at 41. Michael was smoking cigars at the Derby in Kentucky at 41 years old, and LeBron's still on the basketball floor, closing teams out. This is getting to a point where it's like, nope, longevity matters, dog. Longevity matters. Longevity matters. And I think we're in a space where we're saying, yeah, he's easing past him. He really is. finals record, and I'm gonna say this about a finals record. That's a team. That's a team stat. Michael was 6-0 because he was the leader of the 6-0 team. Won 6 finals, never lost a finals. But it was a team stat. Okay? And we're not talking about the greatest team of all time. We're talking about the greatest player of all time. You know who else is 6-0 on that damn team? Scottie Pippen. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're going to say that stat is why he's the greatest player of all time, then I have to tell you that he shares that stat with someone else. And he required him have other people come together for him to be perfect in the finals. That can't be the end all be all when we start talking about different nuances. Guys are breaking records, longevity records, top of each and every category. This number 5 here, number 1 there, number 2 there, number 3 there. It just gets to a point where it's like, all right, dog, he's still doing this, and he's racking up all of the top of LeBron's name is the top of damn near every stat that matters. And he went to even more finals than Mike. More finals. And it's a team stat. So if his teams were better, he probably would have won more of those finals. We can't say LeBron James lost 6 finals without saying that the teams that he was on lost 6 finals. You can't say Michael Jordan won 6 finals without saying that the teams he had won 6 finals. It's not an individual stat. That's all I'm saying. I think LeBron is writing the story right now. I think he's writing a story in this Rockets series right now. Just being honest. So, let's keep on going with the stats tonight. Rui Hachimura, 44 minutes, 22 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 offensive board, 0 in the plus minus. Rui had a really hot start to this game. Hit some big shots down the stretch too. Kind of went cold when we subbed him out. You know, he's a guy that's real streaky, got to keep giving him the ball. Had some issues out there here and there, to be honest with you, but I thought he was awesome, particularly that layup that he had down the stretch when we were working the ball around. I think that was near the end of the overtime, and he dribbled from the corner into the lane and laid the ball up over a smaller player. I just thought that was really helpful, extremely helpful play that helped seal this game. And, you know, as we said, this is a team sport, and Rui Hachimura had a great deal to do with why we're up 3-0. His highly efficient skill set trumps over some of the deficiencies that he may have in other areas. Because when you look at this 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, you understand that there are a lot of players out there who just can't shoot that well. They're just not going to be as efficient as him, and I value that a great deal. You have to live with the stuff that ain't so great. But at the end of the day, you have a big body dude that's damn near as big as LeBron James who basically never misses shots. And so I think this game does not get won without his efficiency. And I value Rui Hachimura. I just had to live with what I don't like about his game, just like anybody else. But I think we should bring Rui back. I don't know that we're as far into this thing as we are if we didn't have this highly efficient scoring punch. So that's what I want to say. Rui Hachimura is to be valued in this league, and the Lakers should value him above everybody else. DeAndre Ayton, 33 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 offensive boards, -6. We got away from DA a little bit. I thought we probably should have checked him in a little more for the defensive reasons down the stretch. Going up against Sengun, especially when Sengun really started getting going. I thought we needed Ayton's defense to help him. It would have been nice to see Ayton get involved in the offense a bit more, but I thought his energy was exerted in the areas we needed it the most, and it just wasn't a very the offense wasn't flowing in his direction. And we really need his consistency in that regard. 2 points in a playoff game is not great. We're happy we won this game because those stats would be broken down by everybody. 3 turnovers. He had more turnovers than he had points in this game. That's not good. But the 2 stocks were good. 2 offensive rebounds were good. 6 rebounds. You know, you live with that. 2 assists. Not a good game for DeAndre overall, stats-wise. But I thought he showed up where he needed to for us. Salute the Kobe minute. Marcus Smart gets the game ball, man. He gets the game ball. You don't win this game without Marcus Smart doing everything he did out there. 39 minutes, 21 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 turnovers, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 1 offensive rebound, plus 3, 7 stocks on the night, 10 assists, 4 boards, 2 of 4 from 3, big shots hit, free throws made. He hit all 3 of those free throws, which was huge for us when he was fouled by Deshaun Tate. If he doesn't hit those free throws, we don't win that game. The attempt that he had on the offensive board, it was a 3-point shot. LeBron shot from the top of the key with like maybe, I don't know, some seconds left in overtime. Marcus Smart pulled down the offensive rebound, felt the contact on his back before he hit the ground, and launched an attempt up at the shot on that offensive rebound before even hitting the ground. That was one of the most heads-up plays I think I've ever seen in my life. I kid you not. I just don't know how many players would have been sharp enough to identify that if he got that attempt up, he was going to be sent to the line. And those points gave us the ability to make it a 2-possession basketball game. I just thought that was one of the greatest playoff plays I've ever seen in a Laker uniform. I kid you not. It's just a simple offensive rebound and a heads-up motion to attempt a shot because you know you're being fouled. Now, mind you, if he doesn't attempt the shot there, I don't think we go to the line. I don't know if they're out of fouls there. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I know that because he made the attempt, if they weren't out of fouls, he made it so that we were being sent to the foul line, as opposed to him just getting fouled and going out of bounds and us having to force the ball in from the inbound, which is highly difficult for both teams in this series. Just an amazing offensive rebound shot attempt there that sent him to the line, and he hit those 2 free throws to make it a 2-possession game, I believe. So many big plays by Marcus Smart. So many, situations where he was diving. He hit his mouth on a play where they were trying to force him into an 8-second call. The Rockets put pressure defense on him down the stretch of this overtime. Kept the ball in bounds, kept the ball in his possession. They were fouling him. He ended up falling on his face, hitting his tooth on the basketball floor. I don't know if he had a chipped tooth or not, but it just spoke to the effort that he was exerting all game long. When the team felt like they were down and out, he was just going. I think of 2 layups that he had when the defense was falling asleep from the Rockets, and he just waltzed into the lane and laid the ball up in the 4th quarter when we were having some of our worst scoring droughts. We were really down as it pertains to our overall team mood, and he just drove right into the lane, laid the ball up. Everybody's exhausted. He drove right into the lane, laid the ball up. It was just like, this dude is absolutely why we're as good as we are all season long. If he didn't do everything that he did on both sides of the floor, I don't think we're even in the playoffs right now. Honestly, without that piece, I don't even think we're in the playoffs right now. He's the difference. I think we have a great chance of winning last year against Minnesota if we had that piece. If he was on our team last year doing the stuff he's doing right now, I don't even think Minnesota beats us, let alone in 5. It's just a difference, man. It's what we need. And when you talk about why you're able to be up 3-0 without your best players, it's because you got Marcus Smart as one of your main guys who's ready to be the next man up. There are 32 teams in this league. All of them need Marcus Smart. All of them. We just so happen to have him. Luke Kennard, 45 minutes, 14 points, 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, -3. Not a great night for Luke Kennard as it pertains to his shooting. We need him to shoot better, but he did have some opportunities down there where he took extreme advantage. The 6 boards and 6 assists was excellent. 3 turnovers could be a little better, but the pressure was on. I liked how he was getting aggressive in the second quarter, getting to his mid-range shot, or rather, I ain't going to say it's mid-range, probably like a 9-footer, just a step inside of the free throw line. He tends to hit that shot consistently, and they just aren't really guarding him very well. I think they started turning up the defense against him, realizing after all this time that he's been killing them all series long. And so I can expect that he's going to have to continue to take on massive pressure that doesn't mirror what was coming his way earlier in the series in Game 4. And if this thing continues from there. So Luke Kennard, I thought tonight he did enough. He did enough to help the team, but I know he can play better than this. He looked like his legs were a little tired tonight. He looked like he was really exhausted. A 3-point shot that he took that would have given us a 1-point lead. I think we were down 2 at the time. Came up short. I know that's just because he was exhausted. There are times out there where you could tell that he did not want to play point guard, if I'm being honest. It looked like it was just a little bit of a strain on him to try to do those duties, and that's not really his game, but he's just been taking it on for us. But it becomes a situation where your role players just have to keep their confidence all game long in these adverse circumstances when you're trying to take a stranglehold on a playoff series. And I thought some of our role players were really tensing up in that third quarter when we started going on a scoring drought and started letting the Rockets get back in the game and ultimately take the lead from us. We had built up a 15-point lead and gave it all the way back. And I just thought it was because our role players were really in their heads, and some of them, Luke Kennard, I thought was part of that to a degree, to be honest with you. Jared Vanderbilt, 15 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 offensive board, +6. I thought he was good. I thought he played very well tonight. The 3-point shot didn't fall, unfortunately, but I know he's been working on it. It will fall again in these playoffs, I believe. But I thought his length was excellent. The way his defense was really being disruptive against the Rockets in that first half, I thought was eye-opening for them. They really had to deal with him. The lineups he was a part of, I thought, were really helpful. I thought he did some good things on the offensive end as well. Find himself available for up and under, I think it was, on a cut, a pass that was given to him by LeBron James. I thought that was a pretty nice play. So I thought Vanderbilt's defense has been pretty good all series, to be honest with you, and we needed that. It's been a good series for him, even though the stats don't really tell the story. Jake LaRavia, 15 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 2 offensive boards, +9. Yeah, he wasn't great tonight. This was not a good night, in my opinion, for Jake. He's struggling in this series a lot to get his offense going, taking care of the basketball, making good decisions. There was a one point where he was underneath the rim and kicked the ball out to Rui for a contested 3. All he had to do was turn around. He would have saw that he was open. It was a bad night for Jake LaRavia. He did not look good to me at all. For the second game in a row, he's not having a good series. And I thought it was a good idea that coach got away from him. Unfortunately, it made it so that we left people out there to get tired. Part of the reason why we had to do that is because he's become unplayable, and that's been extremely hurtful, and it's going to be going forward. So hopefully he can find his way, or hopefully we can find a way to make up for what it is he's not able to do. But he's really disappeared in these playoffs, and it's been pretty unfortunate in my opinion. So hopefully that changes. His confidence and his abilities come and go for us. He's always giving us energy. He's always a banshee. He's always going to do something in the defensive areas of life. But this has been a very poor outing for Jake against these Rockets, man. It's been bad. It's been really bad. Jackson Hayes, 20 minutes, 12 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 offensive boards, +7. I like what he was doing out there. Especially early on in his minutes. Down the stretch of his minutes, he only played 20 minutes, but kind of got away from him. He started missing some chippies underneath. I thought he could have found Rui in the corner when he decided instead to take a dunk that didn't fall. They didn't give him the call, so he went the other way. He started to try to get a little more aggressive, scoring the ball, which is always good when you're 5 of 8 or 5 of 7 at the time or whatever. But I thought just down the stretch, he became part of that clammy type of thing that I was describing, where our role players just could not quite keep their confidence when the Rockets started to clamp. The game slowed down. It just seemed like some of our role players were struggling. I felt he was a part of that to a degree. Having some trouble with Alperen Sengun, as I mentioned a little earlier. When Sengun started getting hot in the fourth quarter, a lot of that was done against Jackson Hayes. So I thought he was pretty good, though. You look at the stats, they definitely tell a story that I'm not describing. 3 stocks, 5 of 8 from the field. Only 1 turnover. It wasn't a bad night by any stretch of the imagination. It was our most productive bench player for sure, but I just thought Jackson Hayes kind of started doing a little more than what we needed him to do, not making the game as simple as more so trying to make the big play. And I thought it hurt us on a couple key possessions where the margin was so slim for both teams. Just couldn't have certain mistakes at all. And so I think that's ultimately what I saw there. But overall, this is a good game. This is a good game. Just small margins for error. Nick Smith checked in the final play to give us some spacing, but did not attempt anything. And Bronny James, 9 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, +4. Came in off of his own dad's screen, hit a 3-point shot, let it fly, and it fell. Not too long after that, a few plays later, his dad found him cutting. They had a little cut to the rim, and Bronny was able to catch a lob from his dad and up and under on the lay, I believe it was. It was just good to see him and his dad out there finding chemistry like that. This was a good game for Bronny. Get some real playoff moments with his pops and to get some real playoff experience where he played well. This had been a bad series for him thus far. He only played for like 4 minutes in one game. And this was a game where we checked him in and he did all types of good stuff. So I thought he grew up a little bit tonight. I thought this was a really, really good opportunity for him to say he played in a playoff game and played with his dad and had success, and we won the game. This is a great night for Bronny James. Very, very great night. So that's my take on each and every player, man. Jake LaRavia did lead the team in plus minus despite having what I thought was a very bad basketball game. So you have to mention that a lot of stuff did not happen wrong while he was out there, or otherwise he would have had a bad plus minus instead of the very best plus minus on the team. So his defense, what I think his defense can do even when he's playing awful, is create circumstances that provide extra possessions. When we took him out of the game, and I was thinking about this when we were struggling with energy in the fourth quarter and the game was slowed down, what I was noticing was that we didn't have as many broken plays that ultimately we could fight for. And that's what I think Jake LaRavia brings to the game that you don't necessarily see on the stat sheet. It's the disruptiveness that he provides that doesn't necessarily end with him stealing the ball, but starts with him poking it away, or starts with him being disruptive defensively enough to just muck up the offense of the opponent. And when he's out there, it's a bit of a cleaner game. And when you're going up against a team with as many offensive rebounding talent as the Rockets, as much offensive and defensive rebounding talent as the Rockets, what you want to see is somebody who's going to disrupt those extra possessions that they create for themselves with those opportunities. I think Jake LaRavia helps create those opportunities for our team, and it doesn't show up in the box score. It's just a cleaner basketball game when he's not out there. And so I think that you need to continue to use this player, especially when it gets to a point where you see things slowing down. And in the fourth quarter, when the Lakers were really struggling to find energy, it was a lot compounded by him not being playable for us, because it made the game slow, it made it cleaner, and that played into the Rockets' favor. But we couldn't go to him because he was playing so terribly with our offense, turning the ball over, making terrible decisions on the offense, that you also don't have him on the floor to do those defensive things that are ultimately essential when you're going up against this type of talent with the circumstances we have without our two best players. So that's kind of what I'm surmising is really going on with Jake LaRavia, why I think he had a great plus minus. It's because when he was on the floor, we were in a position to fight for loose balls, most definitely have fouls that gave us opportunities to kind of stop the clock, because he fouled 3 times out there, right? So that's stoppage that you need for tired legs, and that's ultimately what I think happened out there. But on the offensive end, he was just a nervous wreck, turning the ball over, messing up on He only turned the ball over once, by the way. But just messing up on situations where he needs to make a pass here or do something this way and he's not doing it, or attacking somebody who's going to block a shot. It's just stuff like that. It's just like, I totally get why Coach got away from him. But if you understand what he's bringing to the table, you also understand that you got to have that on the floor. So it's rough, man. It's rough. We need him to find his confidence. If he can find his confidence, hit a couple three-point shots, he's a tremendous piece for us. When he's playing bad, we still need him, and that's a real problem for our unit. Vanderbilt, probably the same way, honestly. Probably the same thing. But I think with LaRavia, I just think that you would expect that he would be more capable of scoring, and thus likely the defense is going to guard him a bit more from behind the arc. But yeah, that's my take on LaRavia, man. It's really complex. It's real nerdy stuff to break down when you're talking about what his contributions are to the positivity of a game like this. But it was noticeable that we were very exhausted and that we did not go to him. And I thought it hurt us a little bit in that fourth quarter when we needed to muck things up, when they started getting hot with Sengun. So, yeah, man, this game was loaded. Man, it was loaded, man. We're in the playoffs. We just took a 3-0 lead against a team without our very best players out there. Austin still didn't come back. I'm fine with that. I think this is the mix of players that you want on the floor in these circumstances, if I'm being honest with you. We need more of our defensive players on the floor. A guy like Marcus Smart was on the floor for 39 minutes. If Austin played, you don't have Marcus on the floor for 39 minutes. If Marcus is not on the floor for 39 minutes, depending on what Austin's doing, you probably don't win the game. It's the truth. Luke Kennard, even on a bad shooting night, creates so many opportunities for spacing. And you have to respect his spacing even before a shot is attempted because of how efficient he's been of a shooter his entire career. So it's just certain things that create environments from which we can operate against a Rockets team that specifically can't shoot very well, but ultimately find their offense when you turn the ball over and they can go in fast break situations or on offensive rebounding attempts where they're able to get putbacks and fouls, send themselves in the free throw line. Other than that, they have a very difficult time scoring. And so for us, having high efficiency shooters like Luke Kennard, Rui Hachimura on the floor just leans us into a better opportunity to beat a team like this. I think Austin Reeves, as I've said many times, is not going to be accused of being a high efficiency player. He's a high volume player who can get to the line. There's efficiency that way. But majority of the time, I think he's going to be inefficient. And so that's just not a good mix. And then you talk about his handle and ball pressure poorly, where he can turn the ball over repeatedly, getting stolen from. That's not what you want on the floor against this team that plays right into their hands. You need more careful players who can take care of the ball on the offensive end, and then more defensive players who are going to hustle and fight. And I think Austin will do that, but he's likely going to get blown past a little more than maybe you would like in those circumstances on the other end. So I just think that he's the wrong piece to bring in off injury, and I mentioned that in the pregame video against this unit. Unfortunately, it's also the worst way for you when you're talking about the Thunder too. It's the same thing. It's no different. So it's not going to get much easier as it pertains to that dynamic. We got to bring it back at some point. So, yeah, man. I'm sure that's an indictment on Austin, but in the long run, of course, we need Austin Reeves. If you want to win a championship, you need Austin and Luka. But I do think that there is a world where if those guys are having a bad series, this is not a 3-0 series. With their deficiencies and them not being their best, no, we would have lost one or two of these games. So it would have been all about them finding ways to help our unit do the things that ultimately they're able to do more so without their presence. And I don't know if they can do that. So sometimes it really does come down to this, and the coaches have to be able to identify this stuff when their team is not down players and make the tough call. Because this is what I talk about when players, coaches don't use their whole unit and stuff like that. What you don't end up finding is solutions. You just live and die with whatever your starters and the players you've chosen will give you. But if you shuffle your roster around, you may find out that your combination of players that you're not using give you the best opportunity to beat the team you're going against. This is something to study. If you're a basketball mind, it's like, yeah, you might have a Luka and Austin on your team that demand their minutes and then ultimately has a cachet to, demand those minutes, and you feel like you're your best when they're at their best. But like, if you have to live and die with what they do, and you run into a certain team that needs certain things in order to beat them, you may keep those things from being on the basketball floor when you actually have them at your disposal, just off of the strength of what it is that you feel you need to do, as opposed to what it is that you actually need to do in order to win. This is a prime example. I very much believe that this Los Angeles Lakers team is up 3-0 because they have the right stuff on the floor for the matchup they're going against. And if our stars were out there with the things they don't do well, that would not have been the case, man. It's just not the case. We get slower, and what you find out is that you're not more likely to be able to defend. And in a series like this, you got to be able to do both. You got to be a little quicker. You got to be a lot more Banshee-ish. You got a lot of energy. This is a rugged team. And if you turn the ball over, like our stars tend to, you play right into the hand of the unit you're going against, and you activate their offense in ways that this Laker unit, is not going to. So that's really what I see there, man. I don't think I've talked this much about a basketball game ever. But this game gave me so many things to consider, and this was such an important basketball game, and we delivered, man. But they do not give you series wins nor NBA championships for 3-0 leads. 3-0 leads have never been blown to the degree where you've lost a series. It's never happened in this league. I would suggest the Lakers make sure they close this thing out so that we don't put ourselves in a position to where that might be something that could happen. I'm pretty confident it won't. But just the same, these games have been won within the margins. And if a few things go a different way, or a few injuries take place even further, suddenly a series can change even under these circumstances. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a team come back from a 3-0 deficit to make it a 3-3 series. They ain't never won, but they've gotten it that far. They've gotten it to a 3-2 series, so we need to stay on guard. The NBA has been very lucky to not have given up a 3-0 deficit. But I'm telling you, there's a world where a couple injuries can make it so that environment is real. You do not want to play extra basketball. It is so important to close a team out. Don't be the first team to give up a 3-0 lead, Lakers. Don't be the first team. That's all I got to say. So, next game, Sunday, 4/26 at 6:30 p.m. That would be on a Sunday, this upcoming Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern on NBC Peacock. And, I got a lot going on, so I don't know what my availability is going to be for those videos. I'm going to be honest with you. I will do my best, but it's going to be a hectic night for your boy, personally. What I got going on in my life that day and the next day, I may not be able to get on this camera. But I'm going to do my very best to make sure that I'm watching the game. And if there's any way I can do this, I will do it. But if I can't, you guys know what's up. Also, for those who are commenting, I've made several videos mentioning this. They're not letting me comment on the comments. They're not allowing me to respond to comments. I don't know what's going on with my account, why that is the case. But for those who are leaving comments, I appreciate all of them. But I'm not able to respond to any of them right now. You tell me why. I don't know. So that's what's going on, man. Still appreciate all the engagement on my channel, though. And if ever they will allow me to respond to your comments, I will. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. The Lakers take a 3-0 victory. Marcus Smart gets the game ball. I think J.J. Redick is making a name for himself in these playoffs. He's doing what he needs to do to make us forget all about what happened with Minnesota. He has schemed excellent against this Rocket team, and I want to give him his credit. And I didn't mention what I thought about KD because I'm not really sure what happened with the rolled ankle. I know the knee is what initially kept him out, but apparently he had an ankle injury as well. I don't know what's going on there, man. Depending on what the reality of the circumstance is will determine my opinion about what's going on there. But I will say, is when you're down 0-2 to a team that's been beating up on you like we were, you got to try to play through that, dog. Whatever the hell's going on, you got to try to play through that. And so that's kind of where my opinion's at with that. And but as a Laker fan, I'm pretty damn happy to see he wasn't out there, and we take a 3-0 lead. So let's try to close this thing out on Sunday. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.